The first time I sold my blood in the Crimson Market, I mistook the mirrors for stars. They hang from the ceiling like constellations, catching neon and ember, reflecting 100 versions of the same bad idea. You go down the freight elevator, past the bouncer with slate eyes, past the door where the music turns from bass to heartbeat, and you sign your name on a line that warns you the ink will outlive you. My name looks small there, Reya Cael. I don't come from money. I come from overdue notices and phones that vibrate with threats. The market doesn't care. Here blood is credit. Here desire has teeth. Cael finds me the night my contract transfers. They call him a blood dealer, but that's just the polite term. He's a broker of hungers, a curator of cravings, a vampire who can turn a whisper into a debt. He wears black like a verdict and speaks softly, the way knives whisper when they're almost satisfied. You understand the terms, he says, sliding me a silver cuff. It's not jewellery. When the clasp seals, a pin bites my wrist and the cuff warms to match my pulse. Somewhere in a database that breathes, the Crimson Syndicate logs me as Cael's supply. I understand enough, I say. Enough is where people bleed out, he answers, almost smiling, like he's surprised I'm not shaking. He looks at me the way storms look at windows. The feeding lounges are red-lit and discreet. Polished leather, low tables, a bartender who stirs smoke into cocktails. Underneath the music are rules strict enough to feel holy. No feeding without consent. No feeding to death. No attachments. The last rule is the only one anyone bothers breaking. The first time Cael feeds from me, he doesn't touch my throat. He traces the inside of my arm as if reading a story written in my veins. Breathe, he murmurs, and when his fangs slide in, the world arranges itself. Sound narrows to the drum of my pulse. Light fades to a warm tide. The pain is brief, the afterglow hums like a held note. It is infuriatingly the most alive I have ever felt. It should scare me, it doesn't. I'm tired of fear. I want control, or at least the illusion of it. Cael feeds like an apology. He steadies my breathing, stops long before the cuff's alarm vibrates, seals the punctures with a touch. I feel claimed and not, owned and not, a paradox with a pulse. You're reckless, he says after. It attracts trouble. Trouble tips well. That's not the kind you'll meet here. Trouble arrives in the shape of Marius, a rival dealer with a grin like a broken bottle. He waits until Cael steps away. The lounge is crowded, the mirrors spill light, the music is all hips and heat. Marius slides into the booth uninvited, his eyes the dull red of used velvet. You're Cael's new favourite, he says, tasting the word like a slur. Favours are fragile in this place. I'm not a glass, I tell him. No, he agrees. You're a tap, he reaches for my wrist. The cuff registers an unauthorised contact with a tone only vampires hear. Marius laughs and leans closer. Contracts are paper. Hunger is ink. Let me sample. I could call for the floor manager. I could scream. Instead, I meet his gaze and say, try it and choke. It's bravado. It's a dare. It is also the only thing that keeps me from remembering what prey feels like. Marius moves faster than anger. His grip is ice, his pupils bloom black. The moment before his mouth touches my skin is a cliff edge. I'm tipping, I'm ready to fall, Remove your hand, Cael says behind him, calm as the space between thunder and lightning. Marius turns with a hiss. But Cael is already between us, a wall in a well-cut suit. She's registered, Cael says. Touch her again, and I invoice your house for interference. Invoice me tonight, Marius croons, withdrawing with mock surrender. Favourites fall, Cael. That's our business model. Then mind yours. Marius leaves with a last look at me that promises a debt. Cael unclasps the cuff. You're done for the night. I can keep going. I said you're done. The words shouldn't heat my cheeks, but they do. I hate obedience almost as much as I love surviving. You going to walk me out, or send someone with a leash? I'll walk you. We take the service corridor. The elevator is an iron throat swallowing us up. In the mirror above the buttons, he is a suggestion more than a reflection. I am stark and human and breathing too fast. I won't be sold, I say. I choose who gets to take. His mouth almost softens. That is not how the Syndicate reads choice. Then teach me their language. When the doors open onto the night, he steps back, granting me the street like a promise. Go home, Reya, and don't answer unknown numbers. Why? Because tonight someone learned you don't break easily. Men like Marius prefer toys that do. The city air is damp and full of fried spices and bus exhaust. I pocket my phone and start walking. In my veins, a ghost of warmth lingers where Cael fed, a heat that feels like a vow I didn't know I made. On the corner, my phone vibrates with an unknown number. I don't answer. Not tonight. The city doesn't sleep, but it does turn its face. By day, the alleys are full of delivery vans and pigeons. By night, the same corners breathe perfume and whispers. I walk through both, always carrying the taste of last night on my tongue. I tell myself it's nothing. A job. A deal. A way to pay the bills. But I can't forget how Cael steadied my pulse with his hand, how the coldness of his skin made my own blood roar like fire. It's not just feeding. It's intimacy dressed as danger. 3 nights later, I go back to the market. The elevator hums like a throat clearing, mirrors catching me in fragments. I'm not nervous, but I'm not calm either. Cael is waiting, as if he knew the hour I'd walk in. He's seated at the bar, one hand wrapped around a glass that isn't for drinking, his profile sharp as glass. He looks up and the world narrows. You came back, he says. I didn't sign up to retire after one night. You should have. He says it like a fact, not a warning. But when I slip onto the stool beside him, he doesn't move away. The bartender places a dark bottle between us. Cael ignores it. His eyes flick down my arm to the cuff refastened around my wrist. You're careless, he murmurs. I'm alive. That's not the same. The lounge is quieter tonight, less crowded. He leads me to a booth shadowed by velvet curtains. When he feeds, it's slower this time, deliberate. The press of his fangs is sharp, then dulled by the rush of warmth. I close my eyes, breathing with him, body swaying like we're sharing a rhythm only we can hear. When it's over, I lean back, dazed, head spinning. He steadies me again, fingertips at my jaw. You're playing with something you don't understand. Then explain it. His mouth curves, but it's not a smile. Explaining temptation doesn't make it less tempting. The curtain rustles. A girl peers in, pale, trembling, eyes too wide. She wears a cuff like mine, but her wrist is bruised. Cael's gaze sharpens. Go back to your handler, he says, too calm. He told me, she stammers, but then someone yanks her back. A flash of red hair, a male voice like broken glass, Marius. Enjoying your toy, Cael? He taunts from outside the booth. Careful, attachments are expensive. Cael doesn't rise, but the tension in him is a live wire. He looks at me, then at the curtain, then back. Stay here. When he steps out, voices sharpen. I hear Marius laugh, the ugly scrape of it. The girl whimpers. Then silence. Too fast, too sudden. Cael returns a moment later, composed, but his cuff is streaked with crimson. He wipes it clean with a napkin, folds the fabric, sets it aside as if nothing happened. What did you do? I ask. I reminded him of his manners. My throat is dry. He won't forget this. That's the point. The night should end there. But when he escorts me out, he doesn't stop at the elevator. He walks me all the way to the street, through the damp air, past the neon signs bleeding colour into puddles. Why me? I asked before I can bite it back. His pause is too long. Because you look at me like you're not afraid, even when you should be. Maybe I don't know what to be afraid of. You will. He steps closer. The city sound drops away, leaving only his voice. When you feel it, the craving, the pull, you'll understand. Feeding ties us. The more I drink, the more you'll want me to. That's why attachments are forbidden. The truth lands heavy. I should run. Instead, I whisper, and if I already feel it? For the first time, his composure cracks. His eyes darken, his jaw tightens. Then he takes a deliberate step back. Go home, Reya. He vanishes into the shadows like he was never there. I walk away, but his warning echoes inside me like another heartbeat. The craving isn't in my veins. It's in my bones. And it's growing. The craving doesn't fade. It coils. Days stretch like wires pulled too tight, each one humming with tension. I wake from dreams where I can feel his fangs in my skin, but it isn't pain that lingers. It's heat, a rhythm, the way his breath steadied mine. By the time I return to the market, I've stopped lying to myself. This isn't just about money. It's about him. The Crimson Market is busier tonight, a carnival of shadows. Humans in velvet cuffs wait in lines, laughing too loudly. Vampires drift past like sharks in dark water, their hunger disguised as grace. The mirrors catch it all, reflecting 100 truths no one wants to admit. Cael is at the bar again, untouched glass in front of him. When he sees me, he doesn't hide the flicker of something sharp in his gaze. Relief. Hunger. Possession. You shouldn't be here, he says when I approach. Then stop calling me back. His mouth curves, humorless. I didn't call you. Didn't you? The silence between us feels like a yes. He leads me not to a booth this time, but to a private chamber behind a black door. No velvet curtains, no crowd noise, just stone walls, low lighting, and a table scattered with old contracts bound in iron rings. This isn't the lounge, I murmur. No, he says, fastening the cuff on my wrist himself. His fingers brush my skin, clinical, careful, too careful. I won't let anyone interrupt here. When he feeds, it's deeper. He lingers, breath slowing mine until I can't tell which heartbeat is whose. The warmth spreads through me, and for the first time, I don't want him to stop. More, I whisper, voice rough. His jaw tightens. He pulls back, sealing the marks with his tongue. My pulse thrashes, wanting, needing. You feel it now, he says quietly. The bond, I don't deny it. My hands shake when I touch the table. Why is it forbidden? Because bonds destroy order. Because humans stop being assets and become something else. And because once you're bound, you'll want nothing but me. Even if it kills you. His honesty chills me. It should end here. Instead, I lean closer. What if I want that? His eyes darken, but he doesn't kiss me. He looks like a man who's forgotten how. The door slams open. 2 Syndicate enforcers step in, suits dark, faces pale with authority. Behind them, Marius smirks like a knife freshly sharpened. Private feeding rooms are for sanctioned trades only, one enforcer says. Not for indulgence, Cael doesn't flinch. File a complaint with the council. We already have, Marius drawls, leaning against the frame. Word spreads fast, Cael. You've gone soft for your supply. Makes people wonder if you've forgotten the rules. The enforcer's gazes shift to me. I sit straighter, force my voice to steady. I'm registered. I chose him. Choice is irrelevant, the taller one replies. Merchandise doesn't choose. Something in Cael snaps. His voice is still calm, but iron sharpens each word. If you touch her, I'll invoice your house for damages, and you won't afford the cost. The enforcers hesitate. Marius doesn't. He smiles at me, slow and hungry. Enjoy being his little rebellion. It won't last. They leave with footsteps too heavy for their size. The silence left behind is suffocating. I whisper, what happens if the Syndicate decides I'm a problem? Cael meets my eyes, and for once his control fractures. Then they'll erase you, and me with you. My stomach knots, but I don't look away. So what now? For a long moment he doesn't answer. Then he unclasps the cuff, sets it aside like an oath he's breaking, and says, Now you stop coming back. He walks out, leaving me in the quiet chamber with the faint taste of blood and the certainty that it's already too late. The craving gnaws at me like a secret I can't confess. It doesn't matter how much I sleep or drink or run the city streets to exhaust myself. Nothing cuts it out. The bond is stitched into me, pulling, pulling, pulling. By the 5th day, I can't take it anymore. I try to distract myself with work. A shift at the cafe on 7th, pretending lattes and muffins matter, pretending my skin isn't burning with hunger that isn't mine. A customer brushes my wrist when I hand over change, and I nearly flinch. My veins feel like wires sparking. When I step outside for air, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. I should ignore it, but the craving makes me reckless. Reya, a voice says when I answer. Not Cael. Marius. I almost hang up, but his laugh crawls through the receiver. I see the rumours are true. Cael's pet bleeds only for him. How romantic. How weak. What do you want? Only to help. You're shaking, aren't you? The bond claws at you. He starves you of what you crave because he thinks it'll keep you safe. But he's wrong. The only way to silence that hunger is to feed. And Cael isn't the only one who can oblige. My throat goes dry. Stay away from me! Oh, little supply! I don't need to come closer. You'll come to me. I hang up, heart hammering, but the craving sharpens instead of fading. That night I find myself back at the market. My steps are too fast, too eager, like I've stopped pretending this isn't an addiction. Cael is there as if he knew I'd come. He doesn't look surprised, only resigned, which somehow hurts worse. You're unravelling, he says when he sees me. You warned me this would happen, I whisper. You knew, I did. Then feed, I demand, voice breaking. Make it stop. For a moment he just studies me, jaw tight, eyes shadowed with war. Then he pulls me into one of the booths, not private, but hidden enough. He bites deep and I gasp like I've been drowning and finally surfaced. The hunger quiets, but it leaves something worse, want. He pulls away too soon, wiping the trace of red from his mouth. This is why it's forbidden, he murmurs. You'll never be satisfied. You'll want me until it kills you. I should be ashamed, but instead I whisper, then let it. The silence between us stretches like a blade. His hand lingers at my jaw before he pulls back, composure slamming into place. I won't let them touch you, he says. But you need to understand, Reya. The Syndicate has begun to watch. Marius feeds them lies, and they're eager for a reason to cut me down. Then why keep risking it? His answer is low, raw. Because I can't stop. The truth is heavier than any vow. Before I can respond, movement catches my eye. At the far end of the lounge, Marius watches, glass in hand, his grin a wound that doesn't close. He raises his glass in a mock toast before slipping into the crowd. My stomach twists. He's not going to stop until he has what he wants. And what he wants, Cael says darkly, is you. The weight of it settles over me. I'm not just caught in a bond. I'm caught in a war. When Cael walks me out, he doesn't release my wrist. The night air is heavy, damp, full of rain that hasn't fallen yet. You need to make a choice, he says at the curb. Walk away now, while you still can, or accept that there's no walking away at all. Which do you want? I ask. His eyes burn, but his voice is cold. It doesn't matter what I want. He lets go. The craving claws back instantly, sharp and merciless. I realise it isn't just blood I'm addicted to. It's him. And that's when I know I'm already lost. I try to stay away. For 3 days, I don't step near the market, don't answer unknown numbers, don't let myself linger near the alleys where vampires move like smoke. But craving isn't a habit you can break. It's a tide. It drags you under no matter how far you run from the shore. By the 4th night, I'm shaking. Every sound is sharper, every shadow alive with suggestion. I sit on my apartment floor with the lights off, pressing my hands against my wrist as if I can silence the phantom pull of his cuff. My pulse feels like it's searching for him, begging for him. That's when the knock comes. Not the door. The window. 5th floor. I open the curtains to find Marius standing on the fire escape, smile thin as a razor. He looks at me like I'm already his. You shouldn't be here, I snap, trying to slam the window shut, but he wedges it open with one hand. And yet here I am. You're burning, aren't you? His voice coils around me. Cael starves you because he wants control, but I... He steps closer, the scent of iron and smoke thickening the air. I'll give you what you need. I back away, but he follows until the window is at my spine. His eyes glow faintly red in the dark, hunger made human. "Go to hell," I whisper, but my voice wavers. He laughs. "Hell is here, little supply, and you're already in it." His hand closes on my wrist. The cuff flares, warning pulse vibrating faintly. My body betrays me. Heat floods through me at the nearness of fangs. I hate it. I crave it. Before he can bite, my phone buzzes. A single message lights the screen. Don't. No name, just one word. Marius sees it. His smile twists. Even when he's not here, he owns you. Pathetic. He drops my wrist suddenly and steps back onto the fire escape. "You'll come to me soon, and when you do, I'll make sure Cael watches." Then he's gone, a shadow leaping into deeper shadows. I slam the window shut, heart hammering. My hands won't stop shaking. I sink to the floor and stare at the message glowing on my phone until it fades. The next day I go to work hollow-eyed. My boss complains customers stare. I can barely hold a cup steady. The craving makes everything feel off balance, like the world is leaning toward an edge only I can see. That night I don't plan to return to the market. But I find myself there anyway, the elevator swallowing me whole. Cael is waiting. He looks at me once and I know he knows. "Marius was at your home," he says. Not a question. I nod. "He didn't... That's not the point." His voice is tight, clipped. "You're not safe. Then make me safe," I whisper. The words hang between us, heavier than blood. He doesn't answer, not with words. He pulls me into the private room again, locks the door and feeds. It's rougher this time, sharper, his control fraying. I cling to him, every nerve lit, the craving collapsing into satisfaction, then rising higher into need. My breath breaks into shivers. He pulls away before it tips too far, but my lips still form the word, more. He shakes his head. His eyes are black with hunger and something else, fear. "This is what Marius wants," he says. "For you to crave until you're nothing but an opening for fangs. He'll use you to cut me down." "Then stop him." Cael leans back, jaw tight. "Stopping him means breaking the pact." "And breaking the pact means war." "Do you understand?" I do, and yet I don't care. The craving makes the world simple, him or nothing. But he steps back, closing himself off like a door slammed shut. "You need to choose," he says. "Do you want to be merchandise, or do you want to be mine?" The way he says it makes it clear, either choice destroys me. The question coils inside me long after Cael leaves, merchandise or his? The words taste like chains either way. For 2 days I try to live normally. Coffee, shifts, empty conversations. But every reflection in every mirror feels wrong, like I'm looking for someone who isn't there. The craving hums louder, a second heartbeat that answers only to him. By the 3rd night, I find myself wandering the market again. I tell myself I'm going to say no, to draw a line. But the moment I see Cael leaning against the bar, shadows carving his face into something half human, half nightmare, I already know I've failed. "You're reckless," he says without greeting. "I'm consistent," I shoot back, sliding onto the stool beside him. His eyes flick to the cuff on my wrist. He doesn't move closer, but I feel him anyway, like gravity. "I gave you a choice," he says. "You gave me 2 cages. Something flickers across his face. Amusement, regret, hunger. "At least mine has a key." Before I can answer, the market shifts. A ripple passes through the crowd. Vampires stiffen, humans hush. "The Syndicate has arrived." 3 figures in crimson suits cut through the room, silence moving with them. Behind them, like a carrion bird, walks Marius. His grin widens when his eyes find me. The Syndicate doesn't stop at the bar. They stop at Cael. "Cael Vera," the tallest says. His voice is velvet over steel. "You've been reported for attachment. Such things are disruptive to the market." Cael doesn't flinch. "Rumours, nothing more." Their gaze slides to me. I feel stripped bare, nothing but veins and weakness. "And this?" the Syndicate asks. "Registered supply," Cael replies evenly. "Supply doesn't sit at bars," Marius cuts in smoothly. Supply doesn't breathe his name like a prayer when she dreams. Supply doesn't wear his hunger on her skin. Heat flares in my cheeks. I want to deny it, but the craving betrays me. I can feel Cael in my pulse even as I stand there. Enough, Cael says, his voice low. If you doubt my loyalty, test it, but leave her out of it. The Syndicate studies him for a long, dangerous moment. Then the leader inclines his head. Be careful, Vera, you know the cost of defiance. They move on, shadows swallowing them. Marius lingers, just long enough to lean in close. Every cage breaks eventually. I'll be waiting when yours does. When he finally disappears, I can breathe again. But Cael's jaw is tight, his hands still. They'll watch me now, he murmurs. Which means they'll watch you. Then what do we do? I ask. His eyes meet mine, dark and raw. We pretend it's nothing. We starve the bond until it withers. Or we burn. The thought of starving makes my body ache. I can't. I know it. He knows it. That night I don't go home. I follow him into the private chamber, heart pounding. This is madness, he whispers when he closes the door. Then let me be mad. He doesn't feed right away. He studies me like he's memorizing something he'll lose. Then he pulls me into his arms, and when his fangs pierce my skin, it isn't hunger. It's confession. The bond surges, sharp and intoxicating, tethering me closer, too close. I feel his pulse in mine, his hunger in my veins. When he pulls away, I'm trembling, desperate for more. You'll kill me, I whisper. His answer is broken, almost human. You'll kill me first. The bond doesn't let me go. It sinks claws deeper with every passing hour, twisting into hunger I can't starve. Food turns tasteless, sleep dissolves into fever, and the city feels empty unless Cael's shadow is near. I try to resist. I lock myself in my apartment, turn on the shower until the water runs cold, drown myself in music that should keep me grounded. But the craving rises anyway, a phantom touch at my wrist, a whisper in my blood. Find him. Feed. Surrender. On the second night of my self-imposed exile, the window rattles. My breath stills. Marius. He doesn't bother with charm this time. He climbs in like the fire escape belongs to him, his grin sharp enough to cut. You're pale, he says.
Shaking, he's starving you.
Get out. Or what? His eyes glow faintly in the dark. You'll call Cael? He's too busy covering his tracks with the Syndicate to care that his little supply is rotting away. I try to stay strong, but his presence digs under my skin. The craving hums at the edge of my veins, urging me to let him feed, just once, just enough to silence it. He sees the weakness. He steps closer, voice lowering to something almost gentle. One taste, Reya. That's all. He'll never know. You'll feel whole again. I hate that my body leans toward him before my mind screams no. I said get out! I snap, shoving at his chest. It's like pushing stone. He doesn't move. His hand closes over mine, cold and sure, and for a terrifying heartbeat I wonder if I'll let him. But then the air shifts. A presence behind him. Cael. Marius doesn't turn, but his grin widens. Speak of the devil, Cael's voice is ice. Touch her again, and you won't speak at all. Marius releases me slowly, theatrically, like he's humouring a child. He turns, bows mockingly. You're slipping, Vera. The bond is eating her alive, and you're too afraid to finish what you started. She'll come to me eventually. They always do. Cael doesn't answer with words. His hand closes around Marius's throat and slams him against the wall. The force rattles the window frame. For a second I think Cael will kill him. His eyes burn black, his fangs bared. But then he lets go, shoving Marius back toward the fire escape. Stay out of this apartment, Cael says, voice like steel dragged over stone. Marius smirks, rubbing his throat. You can't guard her forever. The Syndicate will see to that. He slips away, laughter trailing like smoke. The silence that follows is heavier than any fight. I sink onto the couch, shaking. You shouldn't be here, I whisper. And yet, Cael says, kneeling in front of me, you'd be dead if I wasn't. His hands hover near my shoulders but don't touch. He's right. The bond is consuming you. I can feel it. And if we keep feeding, it will only grow. Then why stop? I whisper, desperate. Why not let it grow? His eyes close. Because I don't know if I can stop myself. For the first time, fear curls in me. Not of him, but of how much I want him anyway. When he finally stands, his voice is low. If the Syndicate calls you in, don't go alone. Wait for me. Will they? Yes, he says grimly. And soon. The summons arrives folded in black parchment, slipped under my apartment door like a threat disguised as stationery. One word glimmers in silver ink, attend. No signature, no instructions. The Syndicate doesn't need to explain. By dawn, I can't breathe. The craving already has me frayed, and now the summons coils around my thoughts like barbed wire. I try to tell myself it's just questioning, that they only want reassurance. But the part of me that's tasted Cael knows better. When night falls, I go. Not alone, his warning echoes in my bones, but I don't call him either. If the Syndicate sees us together, they'll cut me apart just to watch him bleed. The chamber they bring me to is nothing like the market lounges. It's cold stone, iron lamps casting harsh light. The table in the centre gleams black, polished smooth as if to reflect every lie told here. 3 Syndicate leaders wait, cloaked in crimson. And leaning in the corner, smile carved like a wound, is Marius. Reya Cael, one leader says, voice steady as a blade. You've been seen in close proximity to Cael Vera. We require clarity. My throat tightens. I'm registered supply, nothing more. Marius chuckles. Nothing more? You tremble without him. You burn when he starves you. That's not supply. That's a bond. The leader's gazes cut sharper. You've been fed on multiple times, another observes. By the same dealer, that violates neutrality. I want to deny it, but the memory of Cael's mouth on my skin floods me. My silence is admission. Answer, the leader snaps. Yes, I whisper. He feeds from me? Marius steps forward, circling like a predator scenting weakness. Tell them how you crave it. How you begged for more. Tell them you'd let him drain you dry just to feel his teeth. Heat scorches my cheeks, shame tangled with fury. I didn't, but the words falter. Because part of me did. The leaders exchange looks heavy with verdict. Attachment confirmed. This is dangerous to market stability. Something shifts in the air. Cold. Familiar. Cael. He steps through the door without invitation, black coat sweeping like a shadow given shape. The leaders stiffen, but none move to stop him. Marius smiles wider. You were told to keep distance, Vera, one leader says. I was told to keep the market stable, Cael replies. His eyes burn into Marius. And stability doesn't begin with carrion circling what isn't his. Marius spreads his hands. Then admit it, tell them she's yours. The silence stretches like glass about to shatter. Cael's jaw tightens. His hand brushes the table, steady, deliberate. She's my supply, he says at last. No more, the words cut deeper than any blade. Their survival, I know that. But they taste like betrayal. The leaders seem satisfied. They nod once, final. Then keep her contained. Any further rumours will result in confiscation. They leave, robes whispering against the stone. Marius lingers, eyes glittering with triumph. She believed you for a moment, he murmurs to Cael. I saw it in her face. How did it feel to lie with her watching? Cael doesn't answer. His silence is louder than rage. When Marius finally departs, I can't speak. My chest feels hollow, like something precious has been scooped out. Cael approaches slowly, voice low. You understand why I had to— No! I cut him off, stepping back. My voice shakes, but the words burn. I understand you'll save yourself before you save me. His eyes flicker, pain slipping past the mask, but he lets me walk out. He doesn't follow. The craving tears at me all the way home, raw and relentless, but for the first time it's tangled with something worse. Doubt. I don't sleep after the Syndicate's chamber. Every time I close my eyes, I hear his voice again. She's my supply. No more. It shouldn't matter. I knew the rules, the risks, the impossibility of us. But knowing doesn't stop the ache. The craving sharpens, not just for his bite, but for his truth. And truth is the one thing he refused me. On the second night, I find myself wandering without aim. The city is damp with drizzle, neon bleeding into puddles. My body drags me toward the market, but I stop before I get there. My pride keeps me from walking through those doors again. That's when I hear the footsteps. Smooth, deliberate. Marius. He steps out of the shadows, smile curling like smoke. You look lost, Reya, and hungry. Leave me alone, I mutter, but my voice lacks conviction. He circles me, hands tucked into his coat pockets, movements lazy but predatory. Funny, isn't it? He denies you, humiliates you in front of the Syndicate, and still you ache for him. Pathetic. I bristle, but the words sting because they're true. Marius leans closer, lowering his voice until it's almost a whisper. I could give you what he won't. No lies. No hiding. No pretending you're just a contract. I'd call you mine in front of the entire market, and no one would dare dispute it. The craving hums, a siren song under my skin. I hate how part of me leans toward him, desperate for any relief, any recognition. You're lying, I whisper. He laughs softly. Of course, but not about this. His eyes glint red. Cael's cage is gilded, but it's still a cage. Mine would at least be honest. For a heartbeat, I almost believe him. Almost. But then I see the hunger beneath his words, the way he looks at me like I'm not a person but a weapon, a prize Cael against Cael. I won't be yours, I snap, forcing steel into my voice. He shrugs, unbothered. You already are. You just haven't admitted it yet. With that, he steps back into the shadows, leaving the echo of his promise like poison in my veins. I walk home trembling, furious at him, furious at myself, furious at Cael most of all. Because Marius is right about one thing, Cael denied me. And denial hurts more than any bite. When I reach my apartment, the craving slams into me like a wave. I double over, clutching the edge of the counter, gasping for breath. My veins feel like fire, my pulse screaming for relief. I try to resist. I try to tell myself I'm strong enough. But in the end, I reach for my phone. I don't call Cael. I call the number Marius left last week. The line clicks. His voice is smooth, smug. I knew you'd come around. I'm not yours, I whisper, shaking. No, he agrees. Not yet, but you will be. The next night, I tell myself I'm only going to listen. That I won't give him what he wants. That I can keep control. Lies, all of them. Marius waits in the kind of place you can't stumble into by accident. A forgotten theatre at the edge of the city, its sign long since broken, its seats gutted and reeking of dust. He sits on the stage like it's a throne, legs crossed, grin waiting just for me. You came, he says simply. Don't flatter yourself, I mutter, but my voice is thin. He rises with liquid grace, stepping down toward me. The scent of him is metallic, like rust laced with smoke. You're trembling. You've gone too long without feeding. Cael's leash cuts deep, doesn't it? I don't need you, I whisper, but the craving betrays me. My veins hum. My breath stutters. Marius circles me close enough that his coat brushes my arm. Of course you don't. But you want me. And want is the truest currency of all. I hate him. I hate the way he says it, the way my body answers before my mind does. I hate that Cael's denial has left me vulnerable enough to even stand here. Marius tilts my chin up with one finger, his eyes glowing faintly red. One taste, Reya. Let me show you what it feels like to be chosen, not hidden. The hunger claws at me. My pulse begs for fangs, for release. I almost lean forward. Almost. But then I pull back, shaking. You don't want me. You want to use me. His smile doesn't falter. Both can be true. The honesty unsettles me more than lies. He steps back, spreading his arms. If you want to leave, leave. But the Syndicate already doubts Cael. If they see you with me, if they see what I can make you confess, his empire crumbles. My stomach knots. So that's your plan, not just mine, he says softly. The Syndicate wants a show, and you, Reya, are the perfect stage. The implication slams into me. He doesn't just want me. He wants me displayed, paraded, broken in front of Cael. I should run. Instead, I linger 1 second too long. That's all it takes. Marius moves faster than thought, pinning my wrist to the crumbling wall. His fangs brush my skin, not piercing yet, but promising. My breath hitches. My body betrays me again, pulse hammering against his mouth. Feel that? He whispers. That's the bond starving you. Cael made you weak. I can make you whole. Tears sting my eyes, not from fear, but from fury at myself. Because I want it. Because he's right. But before his bite can sink, the air cracks cold. Cael. He's standing in the aisle, coat trailing like shadow, eyes black fire. Let her go, he says. Marius doesn't move. His fangs hover against my skin, just enough pressure to bruise. His grin is vicious. Or what? You'll admit she's yours. In front of me, in front of the market, in front of the Syndicate. The silence is unbearable. My pulse thrashes against Marius's mouth. And then Cael says it, voice low but undeniable. She is mine. The words hit harder than any bite. Marius laughs, sharp and triumphant. Finally. There it is. You just sealed both your fates. He releases me suddenly, stepping back, satisfied. The Syndicate will hear of this by dawn. I stumble forward, breath ragged. Cael catches me, his grip firm, steady. For the first time, he doesn't push me away. But the victory tastes like ash. Because Marius is right. The Syndicate will come for us now. Cael doesn't speak as he pulls me from the ruined theatre. His grip is iron, his silence heavier. We vanish into back alleys, through a door hidden in shadows, down staircases that smell of stone and rust. When we finally stop, it's in a chamber lit only by candlelight. Old books line the walls, their pages yellowed, their spines cracked. It isn't a market lounge. It isn't a Syndicate chamber. It's a place outside their reach. You'll be safe here, he says at last, voice low. Safe. The word feels fragile in his mouth. I sink into a worn leather chair, my body still humming from the near bite, from the words he spoke aloud. She is mine. My throat tightens just remembering them. You shouldn't have said it, I whisper. I had no choice. He paces the room, a storm barely caged. Marius cornered me. He'll go to the Syndicate, twist it until they can't ignore it. They'll hunt us both. Then why not deny it again? His eyes find mine, dark and unguarded. Because this time, it would have been a lie. The silence that follows is thick. My pulse quickens. I want him closer, want his mouth on my skin, want the craving to end. But I also want more than hunger. I want the truth he's kept buried. I stand slowly, stepping toward him. Then stop starving me, stop starving yourself. He doesn't move at first. Then his hands close around my waist, pulling me flush against him. His lips brush my temple, his breath cold and uneven. This bond will destroy you, he murmurs. Then let it, I breathe. His control fractures. His mouth finds my neck, fangs sliding deep. I gasp, clutching at him as the world tilts, heat flooding every nerve. It isn't just feeding. It's surrender, confession, the bond roaring to life. When he pulls back, his eyes are darker, hungrier. But he steadies me, holding me as if I'll break. You don't understand what this means, he whispers. The more I feed, the stronger the bond. It will consume you, body and soul. You'll want nothing but me until the craving burns you out. Then I'll burn, I whisper back. For a long time, he just holds me. His forehead rests against mine, our breaths tangled. The chamber feels like it exists outside time, outside rules, outside everything but us. But safety never lasts. By the third night in hiding, the air changes. Cael knows it before I do. He stands by the door, body tense, listening to sounds I can't hear. They found us, he says. My stomach knots. The Syndicate? He nods once, eyes sharp. And Marius with them. Panic flares, but beneath it a dangerous calm. We've crossed too many lines to run forever. The noose was always waiting. What do we do? I whisper. He looks at me, expression raw. We fight! The bond thrums between us, hot and unyielding. For the first time I realise what it means. We're not just bound by blood. We're bound by choice. And choice always has a cost. The first sound is a scrape against stone. The second is the shatter of the door exploding inward. Crimson floods the chamber, not blood, but cloaks. The Syndicate has come. They move like a tide, 3 leaders at the front, enforcers fanning out behind. And with them, grinning like a wolf with the flock cornered, is Marius. Cael, the leader intones, voice reverberating against the stone walls. You were warned. Attachment to supply is forbidden. You've defied us openly. The penalty is erasure. I step forward before I can stop myself. It isn't. Silence, the leader snaps. His gaze slices through me. You are property. You do not speak. The word burns worse than any bite. Cael's voice is calm, but the edge in it could cut steel. She is not property. Marius laughs, low and sharp. And there it is again, the confession. He strides closer, circling me as if I'm already his. Tell them, Reya. Tell them what it feels like when he feeds on you. Tell them how your body craves him. I flinch, but before I can answer, Cael is between us. His hand shoves Marius back hard enough to crack stone. Enough! The Syndicate's leader raises a hand, halting the enforcers. His eyes glitter with interest. So protective. Perhaps we should see just how deep this bond runs. He gestures. 2 enforcers seize me before I can react, cold hands iron on my arms. My pulse thrashes. The craving spikes at the touch of vampires, not him. Release her, Cael demands. The leader ignores him. Marius, show us. Marius steps forward, eyes alight with cruel triumph. He tilts my chin up, fangs glinting. 1 bite. 1 mark. If she submits, she is mine. If she resists, she dies. The Syndicate watches, eager. This isn't justice, it's spectacle. A trial of blood. I shake, fury and terror knotting together. My eyes find Cael's. For the first time he looks shaken, truly shaken, torn between restraint and unleashing everything. Reya, he whispers, voice ragged. Don't let him. But my body betrays me. The craving surges, desperate for any release. Marius feels it, his grin widening as he lowers his mouth toward my throat. Then Cael moves. Faster than thought, he's across the room. The enforcers restraining me are flung aside, crashing into shelves. Cael rips Marius away from me, slamming him against the wall with a force that makes the chamber shake. You will not touch her, Cael growls, fangs bared. The Syndicate rises to their feet, voices a chorus of outrage. You dare defy judgment, you dare break the pact. Cael doesn't answer them. His eyes are only on me. His hand brushes my arm, steadying me, claiming me. She is mine, he says again, louder this time to all of them. And if that means war, then so be it. The chamber erupts. Enforcers surge forward. Cael pulls me behind him, fangs gleaming, eyes black as night. For the first time, I see him not as a dealer, not as a protector, but as something older and far more dangerous. A storm unbound. And I know this is the point of no return. Chaos explodes. Enforcers surge like a wall of shadow, crimson cloaks flaring as they strike. Cael meets them head-on, faster than sight, his movements a blur of violence and precision. Every strike is lethal, every motion honed by centuries. I press myself against the stone wall, heart pounding, trying to stay clear as bodies crash and claws rend. The craving burns through me, fueled by the bond. Every time Cael moves, I feel it in my veins, as if his fight is my fight, his wounds already written into my skin. One enforcer lunges toward me. I duck, but he's too quick. His hand closes around my wrist, dragging me forward. Cael is there in an instant. He rips the vampire off me and snaps his neck with a sickening crack. The body falls limp at my feet. Cael's eyes meet mine, black, endless, and for a heartbeat the battle pauses. Then Marius strikes. He comes not at Cael, but at me. His fangs gleam as he slams me back against the wall, his grip bruising. "She'll never survive you, Reya," he snarls, voice hot against my ear. "At least I'll give her the dignity of living through the bond." Before his bite lands, Cael tears him away. They collide in the centre of the chamber, two predators locked in a dance of hate. Marius's strikes are wild, fueled by obsession. Cael's are measured, merciless. The Syndicate watches, not intervening, their eyes bright with cruel satisfaction. This isn't their fight anymore. It's their entertainment. Blood splatters stone. Marius hisses, lunging, but Cael drives him back with a brutal strike to the chest. "You want her because she resists you," Cael growls. "But she will never be yours. She won't survive you," Marius spits, lunging again. Their clash rattles the chamber, stone cracking, air thick with iron. Every blow they trade feels like it echoes inside me. The bond hums so violently I can hardly breathe. And then Marius shifts tactics. He throws himself not at Cael but at me. I freeze. For a split second I see the victory in his eyes. If he sinks his fangs into me even once, the bond will fracture, the Syndicate will have proof, and Cael will be ruined. But Cael is faster. He intercepts, fangs flashing, and sinks them deep into Marius's throat. The scream that rips through the chamber is sharp enough to shatter glass. Cael doesn't let go. He drinks, not out of hunger, but out of fury. When he finally throws Marius to the ground, the rival is half dead, gasping, eyes wide with disbelief. The Syndicate rises, voices cold as winter. "Enough!" Cael stands over Marius, chest heaving, blood on his mouth. His eyes burn into the leader's. "Touch her again, and this is the fate of any who tries." The silence that follows is suffocating. At last the leader nods once. "Very well. But know this, Cael Vera, you've declared war. There is no path back." They turn, leaving the chamber with their cloaks trailing. Enforcers drag Marius's broken body with them, his gaze still locked on me, full of venom and promise. When the chamber empties, Cael sags against the wall, blood streaking his jaw. His hands tremble. I rush to him, catching his arm. "You're hurt." He shakes his head, eyes closing briefly. "Not as much as we will be." I feel it too. The certainty. The Syndicate won't let this end here. But in this moment, with his blood hot against mine and his mouth so close, all I can think is, he chose me. Even if it destroys us both. We don't return to the market. We don't return anywhere. The city becomes a blur of safe houses and abandoned buildings, moving from one shadow to the next. Cael is always one step ahead, but I can feel the Syndicate tightening around us. A net we won't escape for long. At night, when the street's quiet, the bond becomes unbearable. My body thrums with hunger that isn't just mine. Every brush of his hand, every glance sets fire in my veins. He tries to resist. He paces instead of touching me, clenches his fists until his knuckles pale. But the bond pulls us together like magnets. On the fourth night, it breaks. I wake to find him standing at the window, staring at nothing. His voice is raw. "You're burning. I can feel it. I don't care," I whisper, rising. "I just want you." The distance between us vanishes. His mouth crashes against mine, desperate, cold and unyielding until I part for him. His fangs slide into my neck and the world tilts. I clutch him closer, letting the fire consume me. It's more than feeding now. It's surrender. Every draw of blood feels like a vow. Every breath feels like a promise. I feel his hunger, his fury, his despair, all of it flooding through me. When he pulls back, I'm trembling, half dizzy, but I don't care. "Don't stop. I have to," he rasps. "You'll burn out." "Then let me burn." His hands frame my face, his forehead pressed to mine. "You don't understand. If you die through the bond, I die with you." The truth steals my breath. He's been fighting not just for me, but for both of us. Before I can answer, movement shivers through the air. The hairs on my arms rise. Cael stiffens. "They've found us," he murmurs. "We barely escape." Through alleys, across rooftops slick with rain, the Syndicate hunts close behind. I taste blood in the air. Theirs, ours, it blurs together. By the time we reach the outskirts of the city, dawn threatens. Cael pulls me into a half-collapsed chapel, its windows shattered, its pews broken. The place smells of dust and old prayers. He sets me down gently on the altar steps. "We can't keep running. They won't stop until one of us is gone." "Marius," I whisper. His name tastes like ash. Cael nods grimly. "They'll use him." "He'll demand it." "And the Syndicate will watch us tear each other apart." A trap. I see it already. A stage set for blood. "Then we fight together," I say. His eyes meet mine, full of shadows. "Together means one of us doesn't walk away." The bond throbs between us, furious and tender. And I know he's right. Because the Syndicate won't accept anything less than blood spilled on their floor. The Syndicate does not ask. They command. At dusk, enforcers drag us through the market's hidden corridors, down into a chamber I've never seen. It is vast, circular, its floor polished black like obsidian. Dozens of mirrors hang from chains above, casting fractured reflections of us all. An arena built for spectacle. The leaders sit high in carved thrones cloaked in crimson. Their voices echo. Tonight judgment falls. Cael has broken the pact. His attachment threatens our order. His supply will be tested. If she resists, she dies. If she yields, she condemns him. And there, waiting at the centre, is Marius. He's been healed, but scars streak his throat where Cael nearly ended him. His grin is sharper for it, a wound-turned weapon. "Welcome, little Bond," he purrs when his eyes find me. "Ready to betray him?" Cael steps in front of me, fangs bared. "You'll touch her over my ashes?" "That can be arranged," Marius laughs. The signal comes, sharp as a blade on stone. The trial begins. Marius lunges first, striking not at Cael but at me. Cael intercepts, their bodies colliding with a crack that shakes the mirrors. The fight is vicious, faster than thought, fangs flashing, claws raking. I feel it all through the bond. Cael's rage, his hunger, his pain. Every blow that lands on him burns in my veins. I cry out, clutching my chest, but I can't look away. Marius is relentless, feeding off the spectacle. "Look at her, Reya," he taunts between strikes. "She's starving for me. She'll beg for it before this ends." Cael's only answer is violence. He slams Marius into the wall, fangs sinking deep, blood spraying. But Marius twists, tears-free, and strikes back harder. The Syndicate watches with cold delight. To them, this is balance. A bond punished, an order restored through blood. My knees buckle. The craving rips through me, unbearable. Cael's hunger is my hunger now, and it's killing me. "Cael," I whisper, though I know he can't hear over the fight. "Take me, end this." Marius hears. His eyes flare, triumph glittering. "Yes," he snarls. "Drink her dry, prove me right." Cael freezes for half a heartbeat, and Marius strikes. A claw to his chest, deep enough to stagger him. I scream. The bond thrashes, hot and blinding. I can feel his blood spilling, can feel his strength faltering. And I know. If this continues, we both die. Unless my choice crystallizes sharp as glass. I run forward before Cael can stop me. The enforcers don't move. They want this. The Syndicate wants this. I throw myself into Cael's arms, my voice breaking. "Then burn with me." His eyes widen, horror and love colliding. "Reya, no." But I tilt my head, bare my throat, and whisper the only vow left. "Always yours." His fangs pierce deep. The world explodes. Heat floods me, fire in every vein, the bond roaring louder than thought. I cling to him as the craving finally silences. For one perfect heartbeat, it feels like completion. Like home. And then it ends. My body weakens, collapsing in his arms. I hear him shout my name, feel his mouth tear away, taste his despair like blood on my tongue. But it's too late. The last thing I see is his face, shattered, broken, his eyes black with grief. The last thing I feel is the bond severing, pulling me into silence. And the last thing I hear, whispered so low only I could ever have heard it, is his vow. Then I'll burn too. Darkness claims me.